sled here at Bell High School for the junior project, and this is the end of.
The rainy monsoon season rages on from June to October, and the people of Bangladesh are already rushing to get ready for it. Due to scarce supplies and loss of homes, families are forced onto the streets, scavenging for anything they can get their hands on. Those not out on the streets are in camps with unsanitary living conditions, which could potentially lead to outbreaks of disease, endangering the lives of everyone staying there. It's estimated that these camps are holding up to 52,000 children who are scared and relying on these strangers to help them survive another night.
To continue, the monsoons have affected the southeastern region of Asia and have impacted the economy in both a positive and negative manner. The agricultural-based economy totals about 15% of the gross domestic product, also known as the GDP. Therefore, if a monsoon doesn't occur, it may leave the economy in shambles. The excess rainfall brings in a good harvesting season, followed by an abundance of crops. 70% of that rainfall is crucial to over 263 million farmers to grow essential grains such as zaid and kharif. However, the major downfall of the monsoons is the erratic change in schedule for farming and the dependence on them for fertile soil.
A possible solution to the consequences brought by monsoon rains include the creation of self-dependent farms which can be constructed from older buildings such as steel factories. The crops would be grown on vertical steel shelves which would hold up to 20 trays vertical-wise and 4 horizontal-wise. Instead of using soil, the crops would be held in place by cloth woven from recycled materials, and the roots would be treated with a solution of nutrients needed to help them grow. Rows of LED tubes would border the plants to substitute for sunlight, while sprinklers would water the plants using filtered water.
In support of the vertical farming solution, natural disaster-resistant home designs should be used to help construct these centers for optimal safety and support against harsh winds and flooding. Hundreds of vertical farms will need to be built in order to service India's large population of monsoon-struck victims. In this case, the design of these vertical farms should integrate sustainable designs and renewable energy, as would offer a more economical friendly method of construction. The circular Delta home blend is a perfect example. It is a resilient home design with the potential to reduce household energy and includes on-site renewable energy systems that help in conserving natural resources, as well as being affordable by reducing energy-related costs. It provides a comfortable space for long-term living with high air quality, cooling, heating, and other elements important in making an accommodating living environment for hundreds of disaster-stricken people. We can also take inspiration from the California-based housing company, CalEarth, in using sustainable and easily accessible materials such as sandbags, barbed wire, and earth when constructing the vertical farms. However, the vertical farm does face limitations as it fails to address how high winds and flooding are received in urban settings. Knowing this, areas affected by monsoons should consider using the nature-inspired passive city design, as it would minimize damage and increase recovery time after flooding.
Passive approach, which is what effectively nature has done from the beginning, tries to minimize damage, or as the Dutch have discovered, the water will be there, but how do you make it design in such a way that when it comes and goes, that the recovery is not catastrophic? So passive means, in a lot of ways, less technology and more kind of learning from nature.
For instance, we could design for more parks that for most of the year would be just lovely parkland that you can play with your kids or just visit. And in the once or twice a year events where it does flood, it's fine. It's a field, it'll flood and it'll come back.
Gaw says studies show spending money on redesigning and planning a city will show long-term positive results in future rain events. But planners say since local officials determine how a city is built, it will be up to them to decide how to rebuild after a devastating flood and where the money will come from.
Overall, monsoons are a recurring natural disaster that renders families homeless and without food while temporarily paralyzing agricultural production and the economy of India. However, if we implement our solution of self-sufficient vertical farms while considering its drawbacks, then we can help to lessen the overall negative effects monsoons have on India.